I'm Bill Ager, and today we're going to experience a chakra workshop. And I say experience intentionally because experience is where you actually get to learn things by doing them. It's much better than just having the knowledge and the information to actually have a physical, energetic experience. So in the chakra workshop, let me give you a little background to myself. I've been studying and teaching workshops about energy and yoga around the world since 2004. My lineage is the lineage of Swami Kripalu, who was obviously an Indian teacher. His student is my teacher, Yogi Amrit Desai. Yogi Amrit Desai brought yoga to the United States in the early 1960s and really changed the world. In fact, he started the Kripalu Center in honor of his teacher, Swami Kripalu. So I continue with that lineage, and today we're going to learn some things about how to change energy in our body. The things that you will need for today's workshop include some nice loose clothing. It can be yoga clothing or simply loose clothing. A yoga mat would be great. And if you have it, either some blankets that you can roll up, or if you actually have one, a bolster would be fantastic. You'll also need a pen and paper because part of the experience and embedding the experience into your body and your energy body is to write down the experiences that you're having. So the first thing you will need to do is download the Chakra Questionnaire. Here's the URL, https://bit.ly, capital 2, capital R, capital Z, capital L, capital H, small g, and small h. You'll be able to see the file and download it and print it on your printer. You'll need to do that first. Loose clothing, yoga mat, a bolster or a blanket, and if you happen to have it, a smudge would be great, as it will do a smudging exercise. Check in with yourself right now. Where are you right now? What I recommend you do is get your feet steadily on the ground, sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and exhale slowly. Begin to feel the energy in your body. How is it? Are there any emotions? What physical sensations do you have in your body? Are you seeing anything? Thinking anything? Are there any colors that come to mind? Just be with yourself for about 30 seconds. And when you're done, gently, slowly open your eyes and take out your pen and paper and just write down your experiences with yourself. Write down where you are right now from an energetic point of view. The word chakra comes from Sanskrit and it means wheel. Energy naturally spins like a wheel in nature. And as humans, we are part of nature. If you look at all the big nature systems that surround us, be they hurricanes or whirlpools or galaxies themselves, they all represent this big circular movement. And that movement is in the largest and the smallest parts of nature. We being part of nature, we are part of this movement. Nature shows us time and time again the truth of all of these teachings. If you look at the natural element of a rainbow, for example, you'll see not only a circular form, but you'll also see the colors of the rainbow, which are identical to the colors identified in the chakras. The Vedas is a text that was written more than 3,000 years ago, a sacred text, and it states basically that the human body has numerous chakras, and that these chakras are gateways to having different experiences and different states of consciousness. As we move through our life, we experience our life horizontally. We as human beings walk on a horizontal path. But energy moves through us vertically. So as this energy is moving through us vertically, both up from the skies and down into our crown center, and from the earth up into our lower chakras, we experience this energy. This energy does a couple things to us. It's actually the way we learn. So we move through space horizontally to have experiences, but we learn energetically through this vertical movement. Each of the chakras have colors and symbols. We'll get a little bit more into that as we get further into the workshop. But stop for a moment and think about what your favorite colors are. Again, if you have your pad and paper and pencil ready, write down your favorite colors. Then take a moment and notice what colors you're wearing today. Maybe those are your favorite colors. These are the colors that we're naturally attuned to and that nature brings us quite frequently. There's always both a substance and a spirit side to everything that exists. That's kind of an ongoing cycle of life. So things like humans or other animals are born into substance, and we have this spirit side that lives with us. And when we pass, be it a tree or our pet or ourselves, we move into the spirit existence. But just like the trees, we come back. Trees disintegrate, they feed microorganisms, they feed plants, they feed their own seeds, and they come back as new trees. Cosmic energy is constantly going into your head at the top of your head, which is actually starting with the 11th chakra, moving down through your crown chakra. The earth energy is coming up from the ground and coming from your feet. So what happens is energy is coming into our body, our chakras, which are throughout our body, do their work, and then our aura, our energetic aura, reflects outward and shows our state of health, because our aura reflects our state of health. So maybe you've had a chance to see or possibly even experience the I believe it's called Kirlian photography that shows people's auras. And what's amazing is you can take a picture a day apart and the colors around you will change, because at that particular moment, your energy is a different shade of color representing the energy around your body. Let's learn a little bit more about energy and how you feel energy in your body with a palm chakra exercise. As we know now, there are chakras throughout our body, and our palms are no exception. One way to feel the energy of chakras, which is a very subtle energy, is to actually open up those chakras. So let's go ahead and do that with our palms. What I'd like you to do is take your palms, put them out in front of you, and then take your left palm and take your right thumb and go ahead and push your right thumb right into the center of it. Not very deeply, you don't have to press very hard, just a little bit so you're opening it up. Massage it a little bit maybe with your thumb, okay? Now we'll go ahead and do that on the other side. Massage that. Now just take both your hands and make fists and squeeze them opening. So you can see we're just kind of moving energy inside our hands. Now if you'd like to, go ahead and follow me and make circles, first to the right and then to the left. Let's go ahead and do that 10 times, okay? One more thing you can do is make your hands into a tight fist. Start them up at about elbow level. Squeeze tightly now and open up completely as you push your hands out. We'll do that 10 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, now we've opened up that energy there. Now we want to see if we can feel that energy. You might even rub them together like this to get a little heat going between the palms. Okay? Now take your palms, both palms, about a foot apart from each other. It can be at chest level or a little bit higher. And start to move them in towards each other. Now what you want to do is really pay attention on the space between your palms. Okay, as you're doing this. You're paying attention to the space between your palms. And you'll notice you'll get to a point where before your hands touch, you'll start to feel the energy of the palm chakras. Okay? It may be as close as an inch away, and you start to feel that energy. As soon as you snap it, as soon as you feel that energy between your palms, I want you to start to take your palms out and see if you can continue to hold on to that energy. It feels almost like a ball, like you're holding a ball of energy in between your hands. See how far out you can go. Some people can go out to a fairly large size beach ball. And as soon as you catch the outside limit of your ball, just see if you can feel that shape of that energy. And what you're really doing is feeling the energy between your palms. Both palm chakras are pushing energy between them. So play with that a little bit. Now once you've mastered this and you can actually feel that energy, what's a great exercise to do is to do it with someone else. So you take your palm and they take their palm after you do the opening exercise, and you start to put the two palms together to see if you can feel the energy of someone else's aura or palm energy. Okay? This is where you go beyond feeling your own energy to feeling the energy of another person, even feeling the energy of a room. So again, playing with someone else is a great way to expand that energy. So here we are, we've opened up our palm energy, and now we're going to go ahead and see if we can feel that energy between us. And to play with the energy, you kind of move your palms back and forth a little bit. Okay. So that's the kind of fun exercise to prove to yourself and to others that this idea of auric energy really exists. Now another way to experience energy is to move energy in our own body. And the pranayama exercise of Nadi Shodhana is a great way to do that. It actually balances the energy in our body by balancing both the channels called Ida and Pingala nadis that are on either side of our body. That's why we actually have two nostrils. So I'm going to demonstrate a relaxation breath that uses a count of 6, 3, and 6, 3. Let's take a look. All right, in this exercise we're going to demonstrate the art of Nadi Shodhana. Nadi Shodhana is one of the pranayama exercises. Pranayama, of course, is control of energy through breathing. Okay? And this particular pranayama is to balance our energies, to get us very calm and centered. Nadi Shodhana is one of the more prevalent ones and a very simple one. The way we do this is we're actually changing the energy on both sides of our body. We have two nostrils for a reason. Each nostril brings energy to a different part of our body, the left and the right, the Ida and Pingala channels of energy that move through our entire body. So we start, I'm right-handed, so I'll use my right hand. I'm going to close my right nostril. I'm going to breathe into the count of 6 through my left nostril. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm holding for a count of 3, 2, 3. I'm switching my hand to the other side and breathing out through my right nostril for a count of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holding my breath out for a count of 3, 2, 3, and breathing now in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holding 3, 2, 3, and breathing out through my left nostril. Repeating on the other side again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold out. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold in and switch. The important part of the Nadi Shodhana exercise or any pranayama is to make sure you're doing the holdings, both holding the air in and holding the air out. It's in these holding periods that actually oxygen is moving quickly through our bloodstream and giving more energy to our entire body. So make sure you do the holding parts of Nadi Shodhana. Now that you've done the palm exercise and Nadi Shodhana, I think it's time to write down your experiences. It's important to write down what happens because what happens, it's almost like a dream. Something happens on the energetic level, and an hour later you completely forget it. And we actually start to believe that what actually happened didn't happen, or we simply forget about it. So any experiences that you had during Nadi Shodhana or with the palm exercise, just write it down. It can be 1 or 2 sentences, but it'll be a great reference point to come back to as we learn more and experience more about the chakras. This chart shows the chakras, what I call the common chakras, which most people know as the 7 chakras, and a larger group called the main chakras, which are 11. The common chakras are our basic chakra, which starts at the base of our spine, Second Chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown, top of our head. A larger grouping includes that same basic chakra at the bottom of our spine, Sacral Chakra, which is actually close to our sex organs, the Navel Chakra, which is right around your belly button, of course, your navel. The back side of the navel, which is known as the Ming Ming. The front solar plexus, right between your rib cage. The back solar plexus chakra, which is directly in back of the front solar plexus. The front heart chakra, which is where your heart center is, and the back of the heart. Your throat chakra, right about at the pit of your throat, your Adam's apple. Ashna Chakra, which is right between your eyebrows, just a little bit above your eyebrows, but right between and in the middle of your head. And the crown chakra, right at the top center of your head. We can go up a little bit further from that and add chakras if you reach your hands up right above your head and held like a little ball of energy above your head. That would be another chakra area. Each of the chakras, of course, has a Sanskrit name. So the root chakra is known as Muladhara, Sacral Chakra, Svadhisthana, solar plexus, Manipura, heart chakra, Anahata, throat chakra, Vishuddha, third eye chakra, Ajna, and the crown chakra, Sahasrara. So now that we know that energy is constantly changing, constantly moving, we have to recognize that all of our chakras have equal value for our life. There's no good or bad chakras or better or worse chakras. The heart chakra is no better than the base chakra. The crown chakra is not more important than the solar plexus chakra. They each have very important functions for who we are and how we experience life on a daily basis. But we can kind of put these chakras into different groupings. So the first and second chakras relate to physical activity, hands-on activities that we do in the real world. The solar plexus, moving up towards including the brow chakra, relates to organizational skills. So solar plexus and ajna. Our social relationships, including teaching and learning, come directly from our heart center. The chakras are directly related to specific endocrine glands. So an imbalanced chakra system manifests as imbalance or healthy body. And if there's issues, we also have those issues. Those issues can be in our health. They can also impact our career and our relationships. So the energy of chakras, when in balance, our whole life is in balance. Our health, our career, our relationships. When there's something out of balance, any of those important areas of our life can be impacted. You believe in karma from this lifetime, or you believe in karma from more than one lifetime, let's agree that something happens as we go through life and get older. Those are experiences that we had and our reactions to those experiences. So once you've had an experience, be it good or bad in your own mind, that experience may come back, something similar, and it's very likely you'll have the same reaction. This reaction then almost automatically, instantly, triggers the chakras related to the first time you had that experience. So the chakras come into place. The chakras immediately tell the glandular system what to do. Those glands then trigger our emotions. Those emotions can be anything from joy, fear, empathy, anger, frustration, compassion, whatever the emotions are related to those previous experiences. The emotions then come into our thoughts. Our thoughts then start to tell us how we are going to react to the experience that we're currently having. And of course, the last thing that happens after we have a thought is we do something. So you can see there's a trigger system that begins energetically long before we are actually doing things. And if we're conscious about it, we can actually impact in a positive way those experiences. So the chakras and auras represent very subtle energy. It's at this subtle level that any health issue occurs long before it's seen, felt, or even experienced in our physical body. Subtle energy is both inside and outside our body. It's around us everywhere. But how do we learn to experience subtle energy? I like to do it with a simple exercise, which I call feeling subtle energy with an apple. Let's take a look. Okay, now we're going to do an exercise which I call the apple exercise. And the apple exercise where you take both your palms and put them out in front of you. comfortable distance, okay? Now what I'd like you to do is start imagining that in your right palm sits a beautiful, delicious red apple. You can look at your palm as you imagine this apple. Can you see the apple? Now start giving that apple attributes. Size of the apple, color, how the apple smells in your hand, and visualize that apple. And as you're thinking about that apple in your hand, notice the subtle differences of how your hands are feeling. Notice how the hand that's feeling the apple starts to feel a little bit heavier. The more you visualize and see that apple sitting in the right palm, the heavier the palm feels. So what we're demonstrating to ourselves is the concept that energy, thoughts, and matter are all connected. And as we start to visualize and create an energy field in a certain space, that energy field actually begins to materialize. That's why many times illness, by the time illness appears in our physical body, by the time we actually get any kind of sickness, it's already been in our energy body maybe for many months, just kind of slowly materializing. So if you can clean your energy bodies and keep them clear, you're less likely to get many forms of illness. Now, after you do that exercise and you've noticed the difference of your palms, go ahead and shake those palms out so they both feel like they're the same again. When our body is in energetic balance, it creates a flow of energy. So we feel absolutely fantastic. When all of the chakras are in harmony and everything is open, we feel great. It's sort of like what happens after you do a lot of exercise, do something vigorous exercise, maybe jog, run, kayak, or get a full body massage. It opens up everything and you feel fantastic, right? Well, you can do that yourself by cleaning your own chakras and cleaning your aura. So there are several different ways to cleanse, activate, and balance your chakras. You can do it through breath work or pranayama. You can do it through exercise and asana, and we will do both of those today. You can do it through visualization of yantras, which we will not do today, but you can Google yantra and come up with a couple of beautiful examples that you can download. You can do it through sound and chanting or mantra. We'll try a little bit of that today as well. And you can do it through meditation. Or you can do all these different modalities and really feel fantastic. So you are in charge of your own chakra energy experience, and you can really modify it and improve it. But it takes a little bit of exercise, okay? So you can do a quick sweep to temporarily clear your chakras, sort of like a mini massage. But you can also do something more deeper. If you have long-lasting issues, chronic issues that are imprinted, especially in your mind, it might require more work. A program, almost like an exercise program for your chakras to really change them to the point where they're fully in balance. So how important are chakras? Well, let me demonstrate with a second chakra demonstration to show you how they can impact you almost instantaneously. Let's take a look. So we're going to do another demonstration now that shows how energy is constantly moving in our body and how that the energy is affected not only by other people but by very subtle things. As you know, we've got at least 7 chakras, if not many more, going throughout our whole body, around our physical body. One of the most important chakras is our second chakra, okay? Our second chakra, which is right around in between where the belly button is and the solar plexus area. If you can find a belly button, you can pretty much get the second chakra, okay? So what I'm going to do is, since our chakras are normally sort of in balance, is disrupt the energy in my friend here. So what we're going to do first is take an energy reading of someone's arm. I'll have my apprentice here put out her arm, and I'll just feel the energy. She's pressing back against my hand, and we're seeing how that feels. So it's pretty strong right now. There's a lot of tension and very strong reaction, okay? Now what we'll do is go ahead and just move the energy around the second chakra, just pushing it out of the way. And basically, by doing this, we're depleting that just momentarily, okay? Now when you do that arm testing exercise, you'll notice that the arm is less strong. Sometimes people's arms go all the way down towards the side of their body, but in this case I've just noticed it a little bit less. Okay? Now you can try that with a friend. It's a great exercise to try. But once you do it, once you try this exercise, you have to re-energize that second chakra. The best way to do that is to take your palm and to swirl it in a clockwise direction around that second chakra, okay? Giving energy back to the second chakra. And then, if you need to, you can do another test to make sure the person is back in good shape. All right. Thank you. What's really interesting is that chakras affect not only our own state of being, how we are, but they also affect those of people that are around us physically. Because there's an auric field, when you move close to someone, closer than about 3 feet, you are actually standing in their auric field. And if they have a larger auric field, it can be as large as 6 or 15 feet. Their energy and your energy start to get commingled. And that's why you can start to feel that. Think about going shopping at a shopping mall a week before Christmas, and just the kind of frantic, crazy, I've got to get this done energy is all around, and you become part of that energy. You can really noticeably feel it. Or if you go into a nightclub or bar late at night, you can kind of feel the energy of people who've had perhaps more than enough drinks. So we're trying to create this state of pure calmness by balancing all the chakras throughout our body. Remember, it's a 3-dimensional map that we're working on. What I'd like you to do now is go ahead and fill out the Chakra Questionnaire. Give yourself enough time. 10 minutes is not a problem, or longer. You can simply pause the program and then come back to it when you're done. If you can do this with a partner or someone else, it's fantastic to kind of share those experiences and results of the questionnaire and then move on to the rest of the workshop. Let's start with the first 2 chakras, the chakras of manifestation. These are the basic chakra and the sacral chakra. The first chakra is known as the root chakra, or Muladhara. Muladhara impacts our adrenal glands. Those are the glands it works with. It's related to the earth, the physical earth. It's a survival instinct chakra. It relates to our physical existence. Also our skeletal system, our muscles, and the color is red. This is the symbol for Muladhara. Muladhara is the seat of our passions. All passions are fear, anger, assertiveness, aggression is one version of passion. Fear is often a loss of control over survival level needs. Those include money, food, and water. This can often create a state of stress where your adrenal glands are constantly being used because you're in a state of stress that you don't have enough money, or you can't buy enough food, or your health is not the way it should be. And that generally eventually causes burnout, because when you use the adrenal glands too much, they tend to burn you out. It's also the area of manifestation and action. Muladhara helps us create things, make things real, create possibilities. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, it relates to things like mountain climbing, exploring, self-reliant physical activities where you are in charge. The base is also the fortress. It holds together the foundation of all that we are and anchors our spiritual energy. When this base is out of balance, some things happen. A need to keep constantly busy can be an attempt to disguise a sense of emptiness. The base chakra needs to be in balance with all the chakras in order to sustain our enthusiasm in our projects that were started by the base. In other words, the base energy says, hey, let's go ahead and do this project. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to do something. And then if you don't keep the energy going, what happens is you either burn out or lose the energy, so you never complete the task. If the base energy is too strong, we can become obsessive, focused on one thing obsessively. If the base energy is too weak, we might become spacey or have an inability to focus on things. When our basic chakra is out of balance, we lack energy. You might have stiffness in your legs or your feet. You might experience poor circulation, have excessive tension,
or a constant need for stimulation. So the pose for Muladhara is the warrior pose. Let's take a minute and look at how you do the warrior pose and how it can bring the Muladhara back into balance.
All right. The first pose we're going to do for the Muladhara chakra is appropriately warrior pose. Okay? There's a lot of ways to get into warrior pose. If you practice yoga for more than a week, you probably know most of them. But what I'm going to do is demonstrate this way. So I'm standing here in the middle of my yoga mat. I'm going to take my right foot and I'm going to just expand it straight out. So now I'm in a sort of a straddled position. Now that I'm in that position, I'm going to take my right foot and twist it to the right, so it's pointing in that direction. Okay? My heel is in line with the middle of my back foot, and now I'm just going to bend forward into my right knee, raising my arms. And you can do this all in a much quicker exercise if you want to, like that. I'm kind of doing slow motion here. Maintain that your body's kind of in one plane. Your arms are out. Your knee is over your ankle, but you're not stressing. Okay? It should be very flexible, loose. Your arms are up and out. And you're turning your head, and in this case, looking over to my right middle finger. All right, middle finger. Now, the interesting thing about warriors, you can see the idea of a warrior is that you're strong in the pose. If someone came up and pushed you, you might move a little bit, but you're not going to move very much. You're in your base element. In fact, if you want to strengthen warrior pose, you can start using energy visualization. So energize yourself. Imagine red, the red color red, moving through your body, connecting you directly from the center of your body down to the earth and holding you in place. Muladhara chakra, the warrior. Breathing, never stop breathing. And as appropriate, of course, in yoga, we always do both sides. We can just flip our feet and do warrior pose to the other side. All poses are fluid, so even the warrior, while strong in his stance, is going to be fluid. If there's a strong breeze moving or something, you're going to be fluid with that, as well as holding in strength. And when you're ready, you can just come back up. Interesting thing about poses is that poses are, when you're doing a Vinyasa Flow, normally you're moving through yoga fairly quickly. Maybe each pose is 10, 15, 20 seconds. When I took teacher training, we held many poses, including warrior, for as long as 15 minutes. And the reason you do that is not really to stress yourself out, but to watch what happens in your body. Now, the first thing that happens in your body is your body tenses up. It starts to think that maybe physically you're hurting yourself by holding so long. And you give that up after about 3 to 5 minutes. Then the second thing that happens is energy starts to move in your head. And you start to ask yourself questions like, why am I doing this? Is this really required to become a yoga teacher, to hold this pose for so long? Is my teacher isn't doing that. Why aren't they doing that? So all these questions come up. Again, that's the second part of the pose, is to let go of the thoughts. So finally, and usually it does take about 13, 15 minutes, you've given up all worries physically and mentally, and you're staying strong in the pose. Now, I don't recommend that exercise for cleaning out the chakras, but I just wanted to explain how it works. Okay, thank you.
The next chakra is the Sacral Chakra, our Probotasana. It relates to our large intestines, our bladder, the reproductive organs. It's about water. Water is about movement and cleansing, flowing, being flexible. Imagine a stream or a lake with wind moving over it. It's about being able to be balanced. It's about our physical center of gravity. And it directs the flow of prana throughout our body. The color of the Sacral Chakra is orange. This is an area where you like to have fun and move your body, dancing, for example. The attributes are the energy of the moon that actually impacts the tides. Movement is both enjoyment and pleasurable. We have to move. We are human beings. The reward is sensations in our body. So after we have our basic survival level instincts taken care of, after the Muladhara is satisfied, we start to move into play and exploration of who we are as human beings, the spontaneous enjoyment of all experiences. It maintains communication between our body and our mind through sensations and our emotions. If we flow in harmony with our energy and our surroundings, we require the flexibility of the Second Chakra. It's actually located in the center of the womb area as it relates to fertility. This chakra gives birth to ideas and creativity, which can reduce stress in our life. It's the center of both pleasure and pain. When the sacral chakra is out of balance, you might be more emotional than sensitive. You might have emotional dependency. There might be a failure to respect the boundaries of other people. Or on the other side, you might be rigid or lack emotional flexibility. You might be repressing your feelings, your sensuality, or the enjoyment and pleasure that you can get from life. Or possibly have guilt over your feelings and sensuality. Trauma and pain, especially emotional pain, may also register and stay in our second chakra area. Even sometimes a memory of something that's very bad can get replayed by your mind and then cause turbulence in the second chakra area. That's what happens when you have a similar experience to something that was bad in your past, and right away you feel it in that second chakra. If you have any upset digestive systems, it can indicate stress and possibly imbalance in the sacral chakra. The pose to bring the sacral chakra back into balance is Parakanasana. So let's take a look at that for a moment.
Now we are going to do the pose for the second chakra. Second chakra pose is going to be Parakanasana. Okay? Parakanasana is a seeing pose. And what we're doing is we're simply bringing our feet together in front of us. There's a couple of different things, variations of Parakanasana you can do. You can do it by holding your feet. The main thing is to sit up straight so you're not arching your back in any strange way. You can hold your feet together with the palms of your hands if you want to, and sit up straight. And as you're doing that, you can slowly butterfly your legs open and move them. Ideally, the perfect pose, of course, is when your legs and knees are down to the ground, which I'm not going to be showing you today. The other way you can do Parakanasana, if you're having trouble sitting up straight, is you can put your hands behind you and kind of give you some leverage from behind. And actually helps you, give you a little more leverage on your legs so you can push open Parakanasana. And you'll definitely feel that right in that second chakra area. Now I recommend that when you get into a yoga pose to effectively change the energy of that chakra, that you try to hold it for at least 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Anything less is really not long enough to change the energy. It's more simply like walking through the course of the day. You're not really focusing the energy in a specific area. So hold all of your chakra yoga poses for at least 30 seconds. Longer if you'd like to. If you're doing yin yoga, you can hold it for 20 minutes if you'd like. And then when you're ready, simply come out of Parakanasana. And as you do the poses and come out of them, you can just notice just for a second if you feel a different energy in that chakra area that you've done the pose for.
Some other ways we can open and balance our sacral chakra is through a couple of other physical exercises. One is called Wu Chi for sacral balance, and the other is some chakra opener exercises. I'd like to demonstrate both of those for you.
So now we're going to do an experiential exercise called Wu Chi. Wu Chi obviously is from the Chinese traditions. So what I'd like you to do is stand comfortably, have your feet about shoulder length apart, so they're right under your shoulders. Now what I'd like you to do is go ahead and bring your shoulders up, back, and down, just releasing the energy from your shoulders, okay? Your hands are completely down by your sides. Now as you're doing this, I want you to imagine a thin rope from the ceiling where you're standing. Whatever that ceiling is, a rope that's attached to the ceiling, it comes directly to the top of your head, okay? You are now being held up by this string that's holding you to the roof. And since you know that energy's up there, you can release the rest of your body like a rag doll. Release all your muscles, your shoulders, your arms, your waist, your legs, your knees, your ankles, your feet. Everything is being totally released. As you release your physical body, also release the energy of your mind, any internal chatter. Just focus on your body, close your eyes, see how you feel totally, completely relaxed, knowing you're being held up by this string above you. Breathe deeply and slowly, and be in this physical space. Now you can hold this position as long as you'd like. I recommend at least 30 seconds to start getting the feeling for it, the impact of it, okay? Now I'd like to do a few other exercises to open up all of the energy in our body. A lot of times when we're studying and thinking, all the energy is going directly up to our head. So we need to get rid of that a little bit, okay? So the first is just some balancing exercises we can do. What I'd like to do is take your right arm and bring it towards your right knee. So you're lifting up your right leg and moving down. And then the opposite side, left elbow, right knee. Right elbow, left knee. Back and forth, balancing both sides, both hemispheres of our brain, both sides of our body, connecting with our energy. Back and forth. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Try not to fall over. Okay. Right, another thing we can do is just to open up some of these areas of inflammation right below our throat. Areas where we have a lot of nodes of energy, lymph nodes that connect up there. Okay, take both your hands out in front of you. Grab your hands underneath like this, and then bring your hands up and under. Okay, and when you're in this position, I'd like you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Release, shake that out. Now let's again start with the top of our head, moving our head side to side, gently. Don't overdo it. Usually I recommend about anywhere from 5 to 10 times on each of these exercises. You can do this whole thing in less than a couple of minutes, so even if you're at your desk, confined to your desk space, it's a great way just to open up your energy so you can get back to work with a sharp and focused mind. Another thing you can do is kind of do those arm rotations. First to the front, and then to the back. Do some big bear swings, left, right. Imagine yourself being a giant bear, opening yourself up. We'll go down lower. I know you might not see this in the video, but take your hands and put them right on your waists and pretend you're doing a hula hoop exercise. First to the right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hula hoop to the left, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now if you'd like to, go ahead and reach down, grab your kneecaps, and again rotate them first to the right, and when you're done with that, 5 or 6 times, go ahead and move to your left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, since we're all into yoga, let's go ahead and stand on our left foot simply raise our right foot just a little bit off the ground this time. We're not going to do a tree pose, but what we're going to do is go ahead and rotate your right foot and ankle around to the right. 5 times to the right, 5 times to the left. Don't forget that chakras go through our whole body. So if we forget our feet, we're forgetting energy that actually connects us, grounds us directly to the earth. Now standing on our right foot, take our left foot off the ground, rotate it first at the ankle to the right, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and again to the left, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, shake it all out. And as you can see, we've gone from the top all the way down to the bottom. So as we've done this, all the energy around our whole body, both front and back and sides, is just being opened and released. So be still, close your eyes, be still, be aware, and see if you can feel that the energy in your body is now a little more balanced, a little more energized, a little more clear than it was just a few minutes ago.
Now, as we move up to the center of our body, we get to the chakra of relationships, the solar plexus chakra and the heart chakra. The solar plexus is the Manipura chakra. It's right between the rib cage and a little bit above the navel area, above your belly button. It relates to our nervous system and our immune system. It's called the solar plexus because it is a plexus of nerves. It's a concentration of nerves in our physical body. The element of Manipura is the element of fire. The color is yellow. It's an area for complete contentment. When you're totally satisfied with who you are, as you are content. It's an emotional center, and the fire gives warmth for comfort. But when it's out of control or not in balance, you start to get fear. When it functions well or is close to balance, we accept happiness in our life and share that with other people. It's an important part of our learning center because we need to be emotionally ready for a learning experience to actually learn. You can also feel blocks and tension in this area when you have a negative experience. So if a learning experience is something you don't want to do or have difficulty doing, like an algebra test or something difficult, you're going to have tension in your solar plexus. Imagine going back to school and doing your SATs or an important college exam. You know, there's probably not anybody that doesn't go into those situations with some tension in their solar plexus. But the Manipura also helps us identify problems and find solutions. It's about knowing yourself. Manipura taps into your inner self. It's how we judge ourselves and other people. It is our personal power to do things and get things done, often referred to as our gut feeling or our instincts. When it's out of balance, some things can happen. A lack of self-esteem from previous encounters with authority figures perhaps put you down. Maybe you feel powerless. Maybe you feel the need to be competitive with other people. If you have a situation that has a lot of unknowns, you might have fear with a lack of information because the mind becomes very anxious and puts that anxiousness right into the solar plexus. Often rules that restrict you will stifle your natural exuberance. If you have issues with authority figures or don't like to be told what to do, it might be because of balance issues in Manipura. The pose to balance Manipura is sitting side angle pose, Arda Materasana, where you learn to embrace and accept yourself. Let's take a look.
All right, time for the third chakra pose, the pose for the Manipura area of our body, our solar plexus area, which is going to be half twist, Arda Materasana. Okay? The way I like to do it is we do two sides, of course. I'm going to do my first side by taking my left leg and folding it under my right leg, taking my right leg up and over, taking my left hand, stretching it above and around my knee, taking my right hand up and around to my back and finding the floor with the palm of my right hand. Once I'm in this position, I can use my breath to slowly twist my body towards the right, maintaining a straight spine posture. And again, it's not so much how deep we go into the pose. You just want to reach your edge. It's more about the twist that you feel in that part of your body. In half twist, you really notice it, and sometimes the breathing stops a little bit, so make sure that you're breathing evenly. Full deep breaths. Slowly unwind yourself. And of course, like all things yoga, two sides of our physical body, we need to do the other side. Bring our right leg now under, left leg up and over. And we're going to be doing a twist to the other side. Like all yoga poses, you're going to adjust one side, and it'll feel a little bit different than the other side because the two sides of our body are never in perfect synchronicity. Usually there's something a little bit different about one side. And we don't make a judgment call, we just notice it. And when you notice that difference, you can decide how to create balance. If one side is really out, maybe a balance pose, for example, you really can balance well on your right foot, but not so well on your left foot. You're going to want to practice on the other foot. I had one teacher who told me anytime you are really either very bad at a pose or you really don't like to do a pose, that's the pose you need to do. So we'll unwind ourselves. Again, remember the rule of 30 seconds for each pose if we're trying to open the chakra energy, and that should be helping our Manipura today.
I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about how the energy of the chakras can totally impact our physical body on both a psychological and physiological level. When we focus energy in the first three chakras on obtaining things in the external world to protect our self-image, the energy moves downward. A lack of balance in these first three chakras, too much or too little, creates a fear, a sense of lack of abundance, low self-esteem, or possibly inaction. To compensate these psychological attributes, we often create addictions. There's many different types of addictions. It could be anger, sex, alcohol, food, relationships. We like addictions because they actually offer us a bit of a relief from our fear. Relief comes because we feel temporarily comfortable or in polarity, energetic polarity. But when it wears off, we feel the need for more, which is the actual addiction itself. So we have to keep on getting the addictive substance or experience to feel normal. What our mind thinks will create the energetic response in the chakras. Perception is filtered and colored by all of our past experiences. So, for example, someone says, "Hey, look at your hair." Well, you could have two different experiences. You could go, what's wrong with my hair? I mean, am I not looking right? Did I not comb my hair this morning? And so right away, your solar plexus starts to tense up. You get nervous, maybe angry, ready to have a fight. You know, you're thinking the negative aspect of that statement. But you could also take the statement, look at your hair, and think to yourself, "Hey, I'm looking really good today. That person just admired my haircut. I must be an amazingly beautiful person." So again, the mind will go back to previous experiences and try to wrap the previous experience over the current experience. And right away, energetically, you go back to what you had before. But you are the creator of your energetic response. So if you let the energy of the chakras move up towards the divine, and you're in balance, you're going to be less agitated by things that come into your auric field and by things that are said and done around you. One very quick way to clear all the chakras is with a smudging. There's various types of smudging materials that you can use. You can use sage, for example, or palo santo, which is a wood, and you can smudge yourself. And as you do so and move the smudge around your body, the aura is automatically cleared at all levels. So it's a great quick way to get cleansing, much like taking a shower.
So we're going to start with my upper body, and what I like to do is move the smudge all the way around my arms. I'll actually go down past my legs. I lift my feet, go under each foot, and come back under arms, go up over my head. Now, if you happen to have something like a fan, a feather fan, it makes it a lot easier because you can just move the smudge stick and use the fan to get the smudge more thoroughly across your body. Now, the only thing that's a little bit hard is your back. When you're doing it alone, you just take the fan and push it down your back. If you're good enough to have a friend near you, they can come and assist you and do the back side, because you need to do both the front and the back side of your body. And you'll notice as the smudge is happening that you actually start to feel a little bit lighter. Smudge is taking away the heavy energies held in your own body and your aura. In native ceremonies, if you're ever going to go into a sweat lodge or any type of ceremony, people always smudge before they enter, so the sacred space of the lodge is clean with everybody in it. Okay? So that's how you do it yourself or a friend. You work slowly. The first person to do it is usually the person that knows how to smudge, and then you go around with other people. After you do yourself, you're clean enough that you can go inside and do an interior space.
Anahata, the chakra of the heart center. The element is air. The color is green. Anahata governs our interactions so we reach out to touch and embrace other people. We don't want to be either too involved or too remote from the world and people around us. We want the experience of love to be an ebb and flow. The flow of emotions includes acceptance and compassion, full balance in our relationships, expansion, growth, and freedom. A freedom to be who we are. We extend our arms and our hands out effortlessly. We reach out, sometimes to hold on or sometimes to ward off. But when in balance, we use our arms to hug people. And as you'll notice, the energy of the arms comes directly from your heart center. You may have heard the expression, follow your heart. This is where you care for others. But with others, you can't live their life for them or your life through them. Everyone is responsible for themselves. Everyone has a unique direction and purpose in life. The best we can do is have acceptance and forgiveness for others and for ourselves. When Anahata is out of balance, we often become obsessive. We try to hold on. Jealousy, envy, or expect something in return for our love. One way to create balance in the Anahata, not an official yoga pose, but is through what I call the heart opener. So let me demonstrate that, and hopefully you've got your blanket, bolster, and a small pillow, and you can join along.
All right, it's time to do a pose to open up the Anahata chakra, the chakra of our heart center. This actually could be a Shavasana pose, but I like to do it a little bit differently. If you have a bolster, that'd be fantastic. A pillow. It's almost like Shavasana, but a little bit different. So I'm going to be laying here with my lower spine, in this case, not on a bolster, but on a couple of blankets. My head comfortable on a pillow. Just relax. The legs are bent. Now, when you start this pose, since we're going to be activating the Anahata chakra, start visualizing light energy coming directly from the universe, from the heavens, directly down into your heart, going straight down, 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 down through your body to the ground on every in-breath. You're breathing in, energy is coming in through your body, down to the ground, the soil, the earth below you, and on the out-breath, the energy is going back out from your heart, back to the universe. We take in and we release. We inhale, we exhale. We receive and we give. After you've done that breath for a couple of moments, I want you to take your hands and just slowly wrap them around your chest. Almost like you're giving yourself a hug, but you're not putting any energy into the hug. You're just doing it with the arms very loose. Our arms are directly connected to the heart center, on heart center. As you know, when you give someone a hug, you're actually giving them a hug directly from your heart through your open arms and hugging them. So in this case, you're hugging yourself. The bolster, the blankets are opening your chest. And now I want you to repeat this mantra to yourself. I am being surrounded by wings of love. I am being surrounded by wings of love. I am being surrounded by wings of love. Imagine that your arms are not just arms, but the wings of angels, and you're surrounding yourself with these beautiful wings of angels, surrounding yourself with wings of love. Now, very much like Shavasana, this pose is so comfortable that you might decide to sit here for a good 5 minutes. And then when you're ready, you can comfortably unwind yourself. Slowly, I recommend. Slowly come back up. And we'll continue on with the workshop.
As we move to the upper part of the body, we get to the chakras of communication. This includes the throat chakra, the eyebrow or Ashna Chakra, and the crown chakra. Let's start with the throat. Vishuddha. It controls the thyroid and parathyroid glands. The element here is ether. Ether is an element of all that is. It's related to communication and personal expression. The color is blue. You find peace with this chakra. Your own nervous system responds to blue light, especially in the evening, by beginning to quiet down. If you notice when you go outside and maybe take a walk right before sunset, the animals are starting to be quiet. It's actually the time of day where the animals of the daytime begin to quiet down, and then animals of the evening time begin to wake up. So it's a transition period for us. Balance in this area creates tangible peace. Singing, chanting, playing musical instruments restores this peace. It's about creative expression and listening to others. If you think about what happens with the throat, language is a big part of it. So it's how we feel, what we think, what we say, giving and receiving messages. Our voice is actually an expression of both of our mind and our heart. And if we recognize that our heart and our mind are speaking through our throat, we can be more conscious of the words that we say. All of these are connected to air in our body. Our nose, our mouth, our throat, they're all connected with the element of air. The thyroid controls the body metabolism. The throat center is also about the teacher. It's about communication and sound, teaching and learning. Bring your personal truth into the world. We do that through singing, chanting, sound, mantras. Sound is a great part of what it means to be a human being. When this area of the body is out of balance and the chakra is out of balance, we can be lethargic or hyperactive, both related to the thyroid. You may be telling lies to others or even yourself, which can create internal and physiological stress. When it's out of balance, blocked expression will create stress and resentment. You might find that you have a stiff neck. Shouting or withdrawal of communication is another point of it being out of balance. One pose in yoga that will help create balance for the throat chakra is the Chemo Pose.
Okay, now we are going to be working on our throat chakra, okay? Opening up the throat chakra with, appropriately, Chemo Pose. Chemo Pose. So in Chemo Pose, the way I like to do it is I like to make things a little bit easier by bring my feet up so my heels are up in the air, okay? I'm sitting here on my knees, breathing in and out. And I think it's good if you do Chemo Pose in two phases. The first phase is you simply take your hands back towards the back of your legs. And you start to feel the chest and upper body opening. Okay? And you can hold this pose. In fact, this is fine if this is all you do for camel. And if you hold that, and you can see my head is tilting back, my throat is opening up, the whole neck is opening up. Energy of the throat chakra is opening. And if I want to move back into full camel, I'll take my hands up and back and reach towards my heels. In full camel, you're taking your center of your body, your heart center is moving up towards the ceiling, your throat is looking up towards the ceiling, your shoulders are back and down. And then you slowly move up. The counter pose for camel, which I recommend you do fairly quickly, is to do a downward dog to open up the back in the other direction. And then bring yourself back to neutral. So that's the yoga exercise we're going to be doing for the throat chakra.
Another way to experience the throat chakra is with a mantra. Now, the most common mantra in most yoga teachings, and one that we all know by heart, is the mantra Om. So again, if you want to just simply balance your throat chakra very quickly, you can sit quietly, feet on the floor, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, balance yourself, and then begin to chant the mantra Om. And Om is actually not really like the letters O-M. It's more like the letters A-U-M. Om. Okay? So that comes deep from the bottom part of your breathing mechanism. Om. And if you start with it and say it very slowly, you can actually feel the energy and the air move from the lower part of your lungs all the way up through your body, through your throat, and actually feel it to the top of your crown. So I recommend you practice that. Just sit quietly and chant the mantra Om for maybe as long as 30 seconds. And then when you're done, just sit in the energy of the sound of Om, the sound that you've created for yourself. The eyebrow chakra is known as the Ashna Chakra. It's our third eye. The element of Ashna is light. The color is indigo. It is our center of intuition. It's about seeing the big picture. Ashna means to perceive and to command. It is the command center for our body. It actually controls the pituitary gland, the endocrine system, and all other glands. So when your Ashna is in balance, your glandular system in your body is more in balance. It's also the center of meditation. When you meditate, you go to the center of your Ashna chakra and focus there, often on what is referred to as the blue pearl. So this chakra is actually not on the surface of your skin, but rather in the center of your brain. It's also about awareness, being conscious of self, being conscious of others. It's all about seeing the mind's eye, the visual world, and intuition. You can remove confusion with perception and with wisdom. Creative dreaming. If you think about it, emotions are all about what I want. Perceptions are about what I see. When your ajna is open, you're open to new possibilities with clarity. The throat uses language as a linear form of communication. As you're listening to me now, you're listening in time. The Ocean Chakra uses light to carry messages as visual symbols and images at the speed of light. The vision aspect of this chakra. You can take a rest from your problems to allow the Ajna to see new patterns and possibilities in life. Give yourself space to act on your own insight. Clear seeing is referred to as clairvoyance. See beyond the obvious. Use your imagination, visual, kinesthetic, auditory. When Ajna is out of balance, you might be thinking and worrying about the future. If your emotional needs are too strong, you might get caught up in the details. You might lose the big picture, the dream, or experience confusion. So what I'd like to do is show you a little exercise that can help you improve the two powers of the Ajna Chakra, which include both concentration and intuition. Let's take a look. The Ajna Chakra is the command center for the glandular system. It also helps us with our focus and our concentration, as well as our intuition. Let me show you a simple exercise that will help you increase both your focus and your intuition. All you need to do is use your finger. So what you do is you take your finger and you bring it out maybe about 12 inches in front of your nose. Okay, I'll turn sideways so you can see it this way. And what you do is when it's in that position, you start to focus on your finger. Focus your attention, look at the middle finger, and really keep it in focus. As you're doing this, you're keeping your concentration, and you're increasing your focus and your concentration. Do this for about 30 seconds. Then you alternate with a different exercise where you look to the distance. So the furthest wall in the room, or if you're outside, as far as you can see in the horizon, and focus on the distance. And when you focus on the distance, you're actually increasing your intuition. So this is a great exercise to increase the Ajna Chakra's abilities to increase focus and intuition. One yoga pose to balance the Ajna Chakra is Probotasana. I'll demonstrate that now. Another pose you can use is also the fish pose. I find that Probotasana is maybe a little bit easier for beginners. All right, we're going to be doing now the yoga pose for the energy of the Ajna Chakra, okay? Sixth chakra. What we're going to do is Probotasana. The way I like to do Probotasana is simply stretch my legs out, okay, sitting straight. And now I'm going to take my palms, put my palms behind me, flat on the floor, and simply leverage myself up off the floor, okay, on my heels. And as I do that, you can see that my head is naturally going back. Don't take it so much that you're straining your back, but just realize a comfortable stretch. Hips up to the heavens, hips high. Holding, breathing. And slowly take it down. Now, the great thing about Probotasana is you're doing both sides simultaneously, so you don't have to do a second version of the pose. The crown chakra, Sahasrara, the 1,000-petal lotus. The color is violet. It's about compassion and then directly connects to our pineal gland and our central nervous system. It is the fountainhead. It's about coordination and balance, a balance to serve others as well as your own needs. It's about being spiritual and about being grounded. It's about non-attachment and personal responsibility. It's about compassion for yourself and compassion for others. As you tune into your crown chakra, you will allow yourself to connect to the universe and move beyond the physical body. It's about unity of body, mind, and spirit, where all is possible. Your beliefs, your behaviors will affect your chakras. You are the creator, and what you believe, you create. What you create, you then become. When the crown chakra is out of balance, you might lack coordination or harmony, both with yourself and with the world around you. Now, while I don't have a specific pose for the crown chakra, I do have an exercise where you can actually use the crown chakra, the soul chakra, which is actually just above your head, and experience the energy of another person. Let's take a look.
So now we're going to do an exercise where we are actually working on the chakra that's above our head, the 8th chakra, all the way up towards the 13th chakra, okay? Because there's energy up here. What's interesting about this energy that's above us is that it connects us to everything around us, okay? And normally, like all the other chakras, it's really held in close to our physical body. What you can do with another person is share and open up that chakra energy to the other person. So it's like basically opening up your crown and your other chakra to the other person. So what both people do, actually it's good to do it one at a time. I'll demonstrate on Lori here. So I'll put my hands up and I'll tell myself silently, I'll say, okay, I'm going to open up my aura. I'm going to let her feel my aura. And again, since energy is so subtle, sometimes the best way to do these exercises is with your eyes closed. So all you're doing is focusing your concentration on the energy itself. Okay? I have my hands up, and I'm going to just open them up, imagining that I'm opening my aura in a big, big circle. And Lori's in this circle. The circle that's all around me. And as I get my hands all the way down to the side of my body, she's enveloped in this circle that is my energy. And I just ask her to notice what it feels like. And then I'll just slowly, just like a peacock might take its feathers back, just slowly bring that energy back to my own space. And then you can have a discussion if you're doing this with a partner. Obviously you can have a discussion and find out what they noticed about your energy, how it felt to them. And when they're done, they can do the same thing. So rather than sharing secrets about my energy this time, I'll ask Lori to open up her aura for me. Okay. So you take your hands up above your head first. And then you say to yourself, I'm opening up my aura. And you slowly open it up. And you be receptive, feeling. And anything that comes to you, whether it's a thought, a word, an image, anything, a feeling, anything that comes to you is going to be just fine. And after you get it, after you snap into it, you can say, okay, I've got it, and let the person close up their aura by raising their hands again. And there we have it, a quick way to share your energy with somebody else. But I would recommend doing this after you've done some of the other exercises that we've encountered, where you've really kind of cleaned yourself out a little bit, you've opened yourself up. So it's not the first exercise you would do in the course of a day, you'd do a little bit later.
Thank you for attending this chakra workshop. I hope you've had a good and insightful time and that you feel fantastic. Your chakras are open and balanced. If you have any more questions, you can certainly visit us at thriveinside.net, where there's a form to fill out any questions you might have. Tonight I recommend considering doing a warm bath with salt water. You can use regular table salt if you have it, a couple cups, and that will actually release any other energy that may be moving in your body but is still trapped and wants to get out. So have a great night and a fantastic week. Watch what happens over the next couple of days. A lot of times when we do these deep exercises, energetic exercises, it takes a couple of days to realize the positive impact that we've created for ourselves. So again, thank you. Namaste.